Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man, for giving me a half an hour of your time. And it doesn't matter what day you're listening to. If it's Saturday at 1:30 Central Standard Time, that's 2:30 Eastern, when I come on the air, or if you happen to be listening to it on Sundays or Mondays or Thursdays, or whenever it is you're listening, I want to say thank you very much for listening. Of course, you can catch me right here on Spreaker.com, Spreaker, or you can catch me on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud. So if there's a platform, I'm trying to get there. If you have a platform you would like to hear me on, please let me know. Contact me at 800creditscoreman@gmail.com. I would appreciate your input. So thank you so very much for listening. Today, what are we going to talk about? If you follow me on any one of the social media platforms, whether it's Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, I'm 800 Credit Score Man on Facebook. Same thing on Instagram. Twitter, I'm at Credit Score _man. I always follow back on Twitter, so please contact me there. Follow. You have seen the information that I was putting out during the week. I put out a couple teasers to tell you what I'm going to talk about or what have you coming on the upcoming show. So for this week's show, I put out Time, Snowball, and Avalanche. Now, some of you are saying, like, to yourself, what does any of those things have to do with credit at all? So I'm going to get to those things today. Time, I've alluded to it before and talked about it a little bit in previous shows. I talked about time. Today I'm going to explore for a brief period how time can help or hurt you when it comes to your credit scores, and what you need to do in regards to time to help you more so than hurt you when it comes to increasing your credit scores. Because what happens? Increasing your credit scores decreases the interest that you have to pay when you go to purchase something. And then that means you save more money. And that's the entire purpose of this show, is to help you increase those credit scores. So we're going to talk a little bit about time today. And then we're going to jump into a little bit about debt consolidation. Now, this is not a debt consolidation show. No way, shape, or form is it a debt consolidation show. But as we learned last week when Donna from D.C., thank you very much again, Donna. Donna from D.C. Was the question of the day last week. And her question basically was, does her debt affect her credit score? So we explored that in a little more detail last week. I'm going to encourage you to go back and listen to last week's show. That was December the 10th. It's entitled 3 Major Factors That Affect Your Credit Score. That was nuanced as well. It's something very worth listening to the entire show. But go back specifically and listen to Donna's question of the day and the answer that I had for her. So we're actually going to build off of that. We're going to build off of that because Donna brought it up. Now, she brought it up, but also in the Facebook group, Credit Score Comeback. You need to join that Facebook group. You get tips all throughout the week. You'll definitely get, any of my shows and things of that nature that'll come out, but you get tips all through the week. So please join Credit Score Comeback. I have deemed 2017 as the year of your credit score comeback. In that group, Travis Ray, I want to shout out Travis Ray, asked a couple of questions about debt consolidation and things of that nature. And how to pay off things early and things like that. So I have to give Travis Ray some shout out because of his insistence. Then I said I got to go ahead and do a show around this, because your debt absolutely does affect your credit score, or it can. It's not the only factor, but again, go back and listen to last week's show. So let's jump right into time and explore that a little bit. What I want to do is I want to separate it out, because I talked about it hurting you or helping you. So let's talk about how time can hurt you when it comes to your credit score. The first thing, if you are younger, if you are new to credit, if you haven't used credit in a long time, then time is definitely hurting you. Your payment history is the reason you build a credit score and it starts to move. That's the very first thing you need to do. 35% of your credit score is made up of your payment history. So the longer you've had a credit history, then the better your credit score can be if that history is good and it is positive. So to build on that credit history, you need 3 years, you need 4 years, you need 7 years to build on your credit history and your payment history. Then time definitely hurts you if you're newer, or if you're new to credit, or if you're younger, or you just haven't used credit in a long time. Maybe you decided to stay away from credit. Maybe you had an issue, or maybe you didn't even have an issue, but you heard that people have issues with credit and they get in debt and they have a bunch of problems, so you stayed away from credit. If you've done that, then time is not on your side. It's hurting you because you're not establishing anything. You're not showing your credit worthiness. Maybe you filed a bankruptcy. If you filed a bankruptcy, here's another way that time hurts you. If you filed a bankruptcy, that bankruptcy stays on your credit report for 10 years. It is on your credit report for 10 years if you file a bankruptcy. It doesn't matter if you filed a 7, an 11, a 13, or whatever it is. You are going to have that on your credit report for 10 years. Doesn't mean that all is lost, but for 10 years, that's an entire decade, people. We potentially could have had 3 different presidents within 10 years. Just think about it. Say this was 2014. We had one president. Now 2016, we elect another president, and then the next in 2020, we elect yet a different president. Then you're talking about 3 different presidents. So it's an entire decade, 10 years, where it'll stay on your credit report. Other negative items like collections and judgments, late payments, things of that nature, they can stay on your credit report for 7 years. Typically, your late payments don't. Oftentimes, when you're looking at some kind of credit card or what have you, they'll show what your payment history is like on a monthly basis, and that's actually on your credit report. They'll show it on a monthly basis. Sometimes they go back 4 years, 5 years, and so that's the late payments may not show up on your credit report for a whole 7 years. But definitely if you have something negative like a collection or a judgment or repossession, something like that, it'll be on your credit report. So then now, those are just a couple of things. This is not an exhaustive list of things that could potentially hurt you time-wise when it comes to your credit report. So let's jump to help. How does time help you with your credit report? And basically, it's the different side of the same coin. So here's how your time can help you when it comes to your credit report. So items are removed from your credit report in 7 years. So you only have 7 years to kind of wait it out or what have you for it to fall off. And the reason I put this in both categories, both hurt and help, is because sometimes we need that time. It also means that you're not penalized for the rest of your whole credit history life, if you will, off of one bad thing that happened to you or one missed payment or what have you. So time is on your side because you can have a major mess up, and in 7 years, it can be wiped off your credit report like it never existed at all. So say you're in a big city like Chicago. You're in Chicago, you get a boot on your car. I think now if you only have 3 tickets, you can get a boot on your car. So you get a boot on your car, they tow your car, what have you, and then you don't have the money to get it out or anything, but you owe on this car. Say it's a $23,000 car. Sometimes if they can't sell it, they may even crush your car. So if they crush your car and you owe some bank $23,000 on it, chances are you are not going to keep paying $500 a month till this $23,000 is gone when you have no car and no access to it at all. So you'll get a repossession or you get a collection, you'll get a judgment on your credit report, and that's definitely going to hurt you. But in 7 years, it's going to be gone. Now, you can choose to pay it, not pay it, what have you, but in 7 years, it'll be gone. So you're not always penalized. So if you have a hiccup, a mess up at 22, at 32, you'll be perfectly fine and you'll be able to go on. So time definitely can help you as well. And again, talked about history. The longer your history, the better it is for you. We talk about payment history being 35% of your credit score. The longer your history, the better. There's also a category called length of history. And it's more off the average, but we're going to deal with the length of history. Length of history is 15% of your credit score. So then, the longer you've had credit, the better it is for you. So that is why the length of history can also help you as well. So also, when it comes to, say, even if it's a bad account, I'm going to tell you this, when it comes to length of history, because we're going to deal with debt consolidation today, when it comes to your credit cards and you have had a credit card forever and say it's just sitting in your wallet or you don't even know where that credit card is, do not close it. If it's on your credit report and it's showing positive, do not close that credit card. The longer you have it, the better it is for your credit score. You get to closing old cards just because you don't know what they are, you haven't seen them or anything like that, then it's going to negatively affect you. It's going to negatively affect you in a couple of ways. One way is it's going to take off your, that credit card most likely has a limit. So it has a limit on there. That's being factored into your debt utilization ratio. That's very important. That's going to be 30% of your credit score. So then you take that factor away if you close that card, and you negatively affect that length of history and thus your average time that you've had credit as well. So don't close credit cards. And I may mention this again today. With just one thing, if you were to close your credit card, you could negatively affect your length of history, which is 15%, and then also your debt utilization, which is 30% of your credit score. So just by one move, you negatively affect 45% of what the credit scoring system is doing to judge your credit worthiness, and you don't want to do that. You want to put yourself in the best light and utilize the tools that you've been learning right here on the 800 Credit Score Man Show. All right, so I've done that. We're done with time. We're absolutely done with time. It's a little early right now for the question of the day. However, the second portion of this show is jam-packed with information that you need to hear. So I'm going to do a couple of shout-outs right quick, and then we're going to get into the question of the day. I want to shout out Kellen King. Kellen's birthday was a couple of weeks ago. I should have shouted him out last week, so I want to say happy birthday to you, my man. It's my little cousin, y'all, so shout out to Kellen King. He's a KK, like myself, Kevin King. He's a KK, so all good things come from KK. So thanks a lot for listening to the show, little man, and I'm glad I finally got your shout out there. I also want to shout out Alan Bacon Jr., member of Phi Beta Sigma, had a birthday earlier this month as well, so happy birthday to you, Alan Bacon Jr. And I'm going to give one more shout out right now, and I'm going to shout out Steve James. Steve James is celebrating his double nickel birthday, and that is today on Saturday. So happy birthday to you, Steve James. I know you're somewhere having a ball, so happy birthday to you, my brother. All right, so let's get into the question of the day so we can go ahead and finish it. Now listen to me, guys. The question of the day, just like from Donna from DC last week, you become part of the 800 Credit Score Man family. I can build a show off of your question potentially, but more importantly, you get your question answered. So I want to encourage you all to contact me with your questions. 800 Credit Score Man at gmail.com. If you're trying to look for me on Facebook, you can do that at 800 Credit Score Man. On Instagram, same thing. And of course on Twitter, I'm at Credit Score _Man. Contact me with your questions and you will become part of the 800 Credit Score Man show. So the question of the day today is brought to you by who else? None other than Cute as a Cupcake, Cupcakery and Bake Shop, where the cupcakes are more than just cute, they're delicious. Cute as a Cupcake is located in Maryville, Indiana at 2008 West 81st Street. Get by Cute as a Cupcake. And a personal story on Cute as a Cupcake. I had some yesterday, and they were absolutely delicious. They were a big hit. I took some. I might as well go ahead and give this shout out right now. I want to shout out Reggie White. Reggie White's birthday is on Monday. I took some to Reggie White and the friends that we had getting together. So I want to say happy birthday to you, Reggie White. And the cupcakes were a huge hit. So get by Cute as a Cupcake, 2008 West 81st Street in Maryville, Indiana. All right, people, let's jump into the question of today. So the question is, and it comes from Pat from New Jersey, and she asks, to improve my credit score, should I pay off